The Eagles lost a wide receiver yesterday, leaving some to speculate that Howie Roseman could be gearing up for another move to solidify the pass-catching depth chart, but here why one name already inside the building is drawing a ton of praise. Plus, OTA started yesterday, but the word on the street after just one practice remains a little cloudy, and just one rookie remains unsigned. What's the holdup? I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Now, with day one of Eagle OTA starting yesterday, wouldn't you think that the Eagle social media account would give us some sort of video or even picture of the Birds' first full practice as a team in 2024? I mean, one video of Jalen Hurts throwing the football or one of the rookies running around, just give us absolutely something. I mean, the Jaguars gave us Trevor Lawrence yesterday throwing to Christian Kirk. The Patriots gave us a whole Drake May mic'd up video segment where Drake May looked pretty cool. Even the Falcons gave us Kirk Cousins throwing to maybe his new favorite target, Kyle Pitts. But Philadelphia instead gave us simply a push-up competition between undrafted free agent defensive tackle Gabe Hall and fifth-round offensive lineman Trevor Keegan.
Yes, sir.
And sure, I didn't hate the video, it's fun to watch. I'm sure you'll see some other content creators say, this means Gabe Hall's gonna be a superstar, or I love Trevor Keegan because of this video. This video does nothing for me. Like, give us some actual OTA footage. They gave us literally nothing during day one, which again was on Monday. I mean, any footage you see on your screen, like this right here, this is from 2023's OTAs, not 2024's OTAs, and so hopefully we're going to go ahead and get an update on that maybe today or later tomorrow. I guess we at least did get news yesterday that second-round defensive back Cooper DeJean signed his rookie contract of 4 years, $9.28 million, which, man, dropping out of the first round is rough in terms of your pocketbook. Still, though, DeJean becomes the most recent rookie to sign his contract, leaving only first-round draft pick Quinyon Mitchell left unsigned. And while there are no worries about Mitchell being unsigned, like he's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle, there's no real holdup here. It just takes a little bit of time for agents and front offices to figure things out. He was a full go at rookie camp. That's the clips you're seeing on your screen right now. They'll get him inked sooner rather than later. He's going to be out there for OTAs, or he was out there yesterday. No real concern, but still, get signed. That way everybody can be under contract. Now, quickly, in case you missed it yesterday, I'm giving away 2 tickets to DeVante Smith's charity softball game on June 29th in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and all the details on how to enter are on the video yesterday. I'll link it down below in the description box. Need to be subscribed. Hit the red button while you're going down there, but also just check out yesterday's video, get your comment in, and go ahead and get signed up to maybe win the 2 tickets. Now, the biggest news yesterday was the shocking report that newly signed Eagles wide receiver DeVante Parker retired from the team after just 1 day of OTA practices. Parker told Adam Schefter that, I want to see my kids, spend quality time with them. I want to be there for them whenever I can. Now, you got to commend him for that, spending more time with your children versus trying to make an Eagles roster that you probably weren't going to, or at least had a long shot of making in the first place, is an admirable thing to do. But now we're starting to get this kind of common theme of Eagle off seasons where they sign a player and then that player suddenly changes their plans. Cough, cough, Frank Gore, hint, hint, Miles Jack. But still, though, Parker was a long shot to make the roster, but some people had him kind of penciled in as the wide receiver 3, which leaves now the open roster spot for Philadelphia on a wide receiver depth chart that has a lot of security at the top, but some question marks at the bottom. Now, there is some speculation about a signing or a trade really circling through Twitter right now. More on that in a second. I think the safe assumption is that someone already on the roster will win the wide receiver 3 position. It's no doubt that Britton Covey surely benefits from Parker retiring just from a make the final 53-man roster sort of standpoint. We also can't forget about newly signed wide receiver Paris Campbell and rookies Anais Smith and, of course, FSU's Johnny Wilson. I think Campbell has the lead in this category simply based off of experience. Like, he's been a wide receiver 2 and a wide receiver 3 in the National Football League throughout his career, while the Eagles obviously have other rookies who need to learn the system first and just try to figure out how to be a young wide receiver. But still, there's one guy in Anais Smith that I keep coming back to as someone I really think has a shot to wow people in training camp, wow people in OTAs, and maybe actually be a wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4. And I'm not the only one. Listen to veteran receiver Steve Smith kind of compliment everything I just said.
Anais Smith,
one of the better punt returners.
scores.
Smith has the makeup of what you would want in a wide receiver 3 in the Birds offense. You have A.J. Brown, who's the big, physical, across-the-middle, deep threat sort of player. You have DeVante Smith, who's a Swiss Army knife, who's super fast and agile, has a great catch radius as well. And then you have Ainias Smith, whose speed, agility, and run-after-the-catch ability would be a great combination in the slot to go across the middle, especially against the smaller, undersized, and lesser nickel cornerbacks in the National Football League. And while we don't know much about him, the Eagles did drop this very short clip of Jalix Hunt interviewing Ainias Smith on their Twitter account yesterday.
Ainias, how do you feel about being on the set of Inside the NFL?
It's turned.
That's all you got to say?
It's lit.
Anyways, let's go find somebody more entertaining than Ainias Smith.
So I'm not entertaining.
Where was that when the microphone was in your face?
Still, though, you can make a counter argument for Johnny Wilson, also a rookie, has some great experience at FSU. He's big, he's physical. Maybe he can be a red zone threat. Maybe he can be the wide receiver 3. You can basically take anyone currently on the Eagles roster and make some sort of at least relevant argument to who can go ahead and take the DeVante Parker position. But if you want to get crazy, Philadelphia does have basically 3 open roster spots now and a reported $20+ million in cap space. Why don't you go out there and hunt some even bigger fish, Howie Roseman, like, say, Bengals wide receiver Tee Higgins, who, as of yesterday, has yet to sign his franchise tender and is not reporting to the team anytime soon. Now, it's a fun thought, and I did tell you I'd give you some other options out there. Higgins would be the biggest fish that you could possibly fry on the market right now, but he wants at least $22 million a year. That's what his franchise tender is going to be. So the idea that he would have to sign his franchise tender, then get traded to Philadelphia, and then ink a new deal, it's just very, very unlikely, although, hey, we can speculate on this show, right? Now, if you want a much cheaper option, a free agent is possible, a 31-year-old former Saints star, Michael Thomas. Although, if you know one thing about Michael Thomas, it's that he's only played 20 games in the past 4 seasons, and honestly, even on a really cheap deal, is he an upgrade over somebody currently on the Eagles roster? I would argue no. Other than that, that's basically it. I mean, Anthony DeBona mentioned potentially Martavis Bryant as a free agent who's available right now, although he was cut by the Dallas Cowboys a couple of months ago, didn't really play. The wide receiver free agent market is very, very bleak, leaving me to go back to my original take that the current wide receiver 3 is currently on the Eagles roster. Although, am I crazy to think that Hunter Renfroe wouldn't be the perfect option to go out in free agency and sign? Although, I guess if no one else wants him, something has to be wrong. Just don't understand why Hunter Renfroe remains a free agent. If you know why, let me know down below. And that's probably for the best. Like, Philadelphia hardly used Olamide Zaccheaus. They hardly used Quez Watkins in 2023. When you have a 1A and a 1B receiver like A.J. Brown and DeVante Smith, plus a great tight end in Dallas Goedert, plus Saquon Barkley, who can catch the ball to the backfield better than DeAndre Swift did in 2023, do you really have to focus that much time, attention, and money on a third receiver option? The answer really is no. My hope is that somebody during training camp, during OTAs, whether it's Covey or Smith or Wilson or Paris Campbell, can rise to the top and very clearly be that third option due to injury or case of injury, or just be another option that Hurts can find, 20+ times this season. Now, some other news that dropped today is the report that the NFL is planning on playing a game in Melbourne, Australia during the 2025 and 2026 season. And at the moment, the 2 teams with marketing rights in Australia are the LA Rams and, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. And Anthony DeBona had a really good story on this on PFN this morning, saying that the game could be played at the Melbourne Cricket Club as a regular season game next year. And since the Rams are technically closer to Australia geographically and the Birds are in Brazil this season, LA is the more likely candidate to get this game. Now, personally, the overseas games don't do much for me. Like, I live in America. I want to have my 1 p.m. Eastern time kickoffs. I don't want to wake up at some weird time to watch my team play. I know it's one time a year, but I also really like having my home games at my actual home stadium. It's my big gripe on the Brazil game. You take away a home game from the link. But the NFL has said many, many times they want it to be a global sport, and so it's no surprise they're expanding to other countries like Australia. And that's not going to be the end of it. The NFL recently expanded marketing rights to 5 new countries, including Argentina, Colombia, Japan, Nigeria, and South Korea. What do you guys think of football on foreign soil? Do you like it? Do you enjoy the fact the Eagles are going to play in Brazil? Do you wish they had, one of these European games in Germany or in London? Do you wish they would have the Australia game next year? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this, we didn't have any fresh OTA news. There was zero buzz yesterday, but there was a report saying that Philadelphia is going to allow their media to be at the OTA practice tomorrow, meaning we're at least guaranteed to have plenty of coverage on that tomorrow. So subscribe, because we'll be one of the first to have a full breakdown of everything happening with the Philadelphia Eagles and how they look during their day 3 now of OTAs come Wednesday. I'm Thomas Mott, hanging out on a Tuesday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.